It's time for today's race at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache here in Sao Paulo. And as any of the 80,000 capacity crowd will tell you, this is going to be a fantastic race. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Piastri, Russell, Tsunoda, Lawson, and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Albon, Isaac Hadjar and Sainz, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Ollie Behrman and Jack Doohan, Bortoletto, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. Now it's almost time for lights out. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. Interlagos, always one of my favourite weekends of the season. Love Brazil.
Around the planet, because it is sensational to watch, sensational to drive, and for all these drivers here in Brazil, it's a great time to get stuck into this Interlagos circuit. It's an anti-clockwise track, lots of important corners to get right, and it's a track where you can make or lose an awful lot of lap time.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
job. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind, really good stuff. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap. Experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll come back stronger.
Here's the checkered flag. After in store for us next time out. Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Alright, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, radio check.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check. tiny bit too fast today, but good pace still.
And it's the checkered flag for your Grand Prix race winner, Oscar Piastri.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. And your winner to... It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next. Well, it's a pleasure to have you join us here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya as we proceed through to race day to see just who will claim victory at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Antonelli, Yuki Tsunoda, and Hamilton. Leclerc, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and Lance Stroll. Lawson, Sainz, Alex Albon, and Hadjar. Doohan, Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon, and Pierre Gasly. Bortoletto and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. Now, Ant, you always tell me you know Barcelona almost as well as you know the back of your hand. Given the amount of testing that goes on here and the amount of laps that you and all the other drivers have done, what are the challenges that are left when it comes to the race?
Well, this certainly is a favourite track when it comes to testing. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because it offers up so much variation. You've got corners that are fast, that are slow, that are long, that are short. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to work with. But T9 is one of my personal favorites because it is so challenging. Every time you get there, you think, should I lift or should I stay flat? Well, I tell you, stay flat. Commit.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.